Welcome back to the Whatnauts review show number 83. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson.
Yes.
Melissa, how is it going?
It's good. It's been a busy day, but I'm happy to be here to talk about a new episode of She-Hulk.
It's been an interesting day for sure. We are here to talk about She-Hulk episode 4, recording this on the day we're also recording the Captain's Log, which happens to be the same day that the Queen of England passed away. Lots of stuff is happening.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't know if podcasters in England or other parts of the Commonwealth are recording, or if they're all sitting quietly in mourning. But
podcast day of silence. Who knows?
Right. We keep calm and we carry on.
She-Hulk episode 4. Let's dive in and talk about this one. I kind of want to start this one off.
Okay.
I described this to some friends of mine today as like in terms of why I'm liking this one so much so far. That this show doesn't feel like it's trying to be the next big MCU thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that some of their other shows were maybe toned down a little bit more, but they still felt like they were trying to be, or like, okay, this maybe could have just been a movie, or we're trying to be the first show that introduces this concept, and we have to explain what right. They're just having fun.
They are.
Like, that's literally all it is. They really don't care about how it connects to all of this and that. They're just having fun. If it happens to connect, sweet. But it's just good, dumb fun. I'm loving this.
This episode in particular was a real delight that we take this weird little side path. It's an episode that could set things up. Maybe that is on the docket, but mostly we get to be our new friend Madisynn and just talk about very low-key magic crimes and dating.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And spoiling The Sopranos for everyone who hasn't seen it yet. God.
I was so happy that you have watched all of The Sopranos.
Yeah, just in time. I made it. I watched it last year. Yeah, that was strange. But man, we got a character in here very similar to a favorite Marvel character of ours here at the Whatnauts. Almost Senior Magico. Yeah. We got Donnie Blaze instead.
Yeah.
What did you think about She-Hulk episode 4 and Donnie Blaze and Wong? Wong is back here.
I love that Jen opens the show by looking at the audience and saying, "Oh, you guys look happy. It's because Wong is in this episode, right?" Like, I love that they're continuing this joke of being aware that Wong is our favorite.
Yep.
And I like that this episode was just like this turn into a side street about issues you never thought you would have to deal with. That the Sorcerer Supreme has to sue a low rent magician for using magic he doesn't have license to. And then there's a question of, well, he didn't sign an NDA at Kamartaj. Like, are there really rules saying he can't do this thing? He has a sling ring. I don't know if he stole it. I think that's a fun avenue. And I we get to meet Madisynn, who's just this like drunk party girl who gets wrapped up in she volunteers for a magic trick and then gets sent to another dimension. Makes a deal with a Mephisto type held goat.
Yeah.
And she's such a satirical character, but she's also so sincere, so sweet. I really liked her. She's endearing immediately. And I really like that the show took that approach to say, like, even if we are dealing with kind of obnoxious, jokey characters, we can find some moments for heart in there. You really like Madisynn. Madisynn likes the people around her. And even as much of a jerk as Donnie Blaze is, he's got that mentor at the Magic Castle who seems to really like him and really be rooting for him.
Right.
And I appreciate that guy's there. I appreciate that they have that relationship.
there's such a sincerity in both
Yeah.
of those characters, which makes them likable, even if they are obnoxious or like eye rolling. Madisynn in particular also likes Wong, which makes her like us, and so it's just like
she's us.
Like I understand you, Madisynn.
And what are they watching at the end of the show? This is us. Representing the bond we feel with the characters.
Exactly.
More meta.
But yeah, I had a blast with this one. I liked that this also got into like the dating life of all of that stuff. Something we really haven't seen much in the MCU, except for Black Widow trying to set Steve up with what's her name? I forget.
Sharon.
But there was
Sharon
someone
before
else
you
who
know
was
she's
like,
Sharon. Yeah.
But like that's kind of the only like, and then there is the like, do you fondue date thing happening there? Haven't seen much of like what it's like to date a superhero, all of that stuff. Like that's what I mean by wacky fun. Like this is not the Jin dimension. They're trying to take over the world. What's happening? It's like, wait, so Jen gets no matches, but when she's She-Hulk, she gets all the matches in her thing, and that's kind of what the issue is about. Wong is now upset that he got the Sopranos spoiled for him, and that's what the episode is about. It's just like I'm kind
we needed
charmed.
this.
Yeah,
we needed the stakes to be this small. We need the show to be this sincere but petty.
Yes.
we need the break before we deal with Wakanda Forever in a couple months.
Yeah. Which I like at the end of the day, I'm still not getting the like, I just want them to really, really dig deep into the like lawyery stuff.
They could do more. Yeah,
I would love a good 2-parter if they have that coming up, right? Or some twist to the case where something goes wrong in the midst of it, and it's like, we lost our witness, and they need to do something to get more. Who knows what? And I think this is also starting, at least for me, in my opinion, starting to beg the question of like, when is Daredevil gonna show up? You usually like most of the stuff that they show in the trailers, not only for the shows but for the movies, is from the start of this stuff. It's from the first like 20 minutes of the movie, or the first the first 1 or 2 of a show. But in the trailer, we've gotten this big reveal that Daredevil is in the show, and here we are, almost halfway in, and we still haven't gotten him yet. Who knows what the reason will be? I don't know. Now I'm thinking maybe the stakes on that is going to be a lot lower than this here. Who knows? I have no idea, but I'm excited to find out.
Maybe there is no larger foe they are facing. Maybe Matt's just in town for a conference, and he's like, well, maybe I'll introduce myself. I never have another superhero lawyer to talk to. I just want to say hi.
Right. Yeah. Or they're like Howard the Duck from the George Lucas movie hired him to do this stuff. But then it's like, hey, that's copyright infringement from the one from Guardians. Right. And they have to like do something with that.
You can't introduce this. Now a return of the George Lucas Howard the Duck is all I want from any MCU property. I want to see him again. Don't do this to me. You've changed the game now.
Multiverse of quackness is what it is.
Did I ever tell you that when we saw Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time in the movie theater, and we wait for that post-credit scene, there's some like normal suburban mom sitting in the aisle behind us, and she's like, they better not mess with my Howard the Duck.
That's so funny.
For her, please, I would love to see him again.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So, what do you think is kind of happening in the background here? It still seems like maybe there is something going on. People are wanting She-Hulk's DNA or blood, or I don't know. Do you have I know one of the theories out there is maybe one or two of her dates was actually after her, and we just don't know it yet. Do you have thoughts or ideas on that stuff?
I rarely have original thoughts or ideas, but I hear those of others and I say, yeah, I think that's good.
You can do it.
So when we meet that one guy on the date who keeps asking her questions about like, how are you invincible? What can penetrate your skin? Vibranium? Do you know vibranium can penetrate your skin? I thought that was just a joke about how if we live in this world full of supervillains, and this is also a world of bad dates, you are going to have at least one bad date for a guy who's like not a creep in the traditional way, but it's like, is that a mad scientist? Is that who you are?
Right.
Is that what your deal is? So I thought that was what the whole joke was that she went on a date with a budding mad scientist supervillain. And to hear these theories that, oh, that guy might actually be a larger foe. Maybe he's the one who sent out the wrecking crew. I really like that. Yeah, I think that makes sense. We were talking last week about people who would want She-Hulk's blood, want her DNA, but also would be inept enough to hire the wrecking crew and wouldn't have access to anyone better. Yeah, him. Perfect answer.
Yeah, something like that is interesting because I like it makes for a good joke, but then it also like the reality of that is, yeah, you'll probably run into someone who is an ex-Hydra agent, right? And they were like, yeah, they just had good benefits. I needed some dental work, and so I kept the job. I hated it, but like it paid my bill, and like that's the thing, right? And it's just like, do I go with the creep that used to work for Hydra for 3 months, and then I don't know, that's a little weird. Or it's like, is this guy a mad scientist? I can't tell. I don't know.
Do you remember that guy in Iron Man 3 when Iron Man storms like the compound where the Mandarin is, and he's like aiming his like arm blaster at a guy, and the guy just drops his gun. He's like, I hate these guys. I didn't even want to work here, and he just runs away.
It's that guy.
I want her to go on a date with him. What's his story?
Exactly. I would love to see more of that stuff. I like that we are introducing more everyday aspects of the like Marvel universe, right? The like high technology of the Asgardians or some alien tech falling into the everyday person's hands and them becoming the wrecking crew, or a dating life, or getting to see a superhero just walk down the street after they bought their groceries. Like, we're starting to get more into that, and I know down the road when we get stuff like the Wonder Man show, like what it like that is another aspect of like what is the entertainment that they watch nowadays. Like, we've seen screenshots in Spider-Man of like, oh, there's a documentary on Tony Stark or stuff like that. But I like what meta layers can they put in the like in this that actually works for like, yes, that is what it would be like. I'm loving this exploration and world building that they do with that though. I go ahead.
Do you remember in Mr. Robot, where within the world of Mr. Robot, somebody is making a TV adaptation of the events that are happening? I want that. I want somebody making the not quite Avengers like ABC 1 hour drama.
Amazing. There's so in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, which is the series of comics in which we eventually got Miles Morales, From when that first started, that was around the same time that the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were coming out. And so there is a joke in there where like Spider-Man is new on the scene. He's been around for a year or two now. So they are making a Spider-Man movie in the comics. And he sees the nose that the guy that's playing him is I'm blanking on the name. I always hate this. But right when I need the name, what was the name in the Sam Raimi, the actor that played him?
Tobey Maguire?
Yes. Yeah. That he was playing Peter Parker, and the real Peter Parker in the comics is like, Tobey Maguire as me? What? No, that would never work out. It is awful. So yeah, there I would love to see some knockoff, something like that, where they bring back the old costumes from the Avengers, from like the Incredible Hulk TV show, and the like there's Thor in his costume and stuff like that.
I want somebody in this world to make a show about Hulk or She-Hulk where they have to do the thing where they have to cast two different people. So they cast a Jennifer Walters and then they cast some pro wrestler to be She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I want to see all this playing out.
That would be good. Yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot, and so far I don't really have much that I'm complaining about, because I think the previous shows set up the expectation that there was going to be a big reveal, or they would introduce you to this concept, or there would be some big fight at the end, and there might still be some fight that we see at the end here, and I'd be okay with that. But so far, they haven't set that expectation up, at least in a way that it's a number one priority, right? There is this, there seems to be someone who's out looking for her blood or her DNA for some reason, but we've only got this like small drip feed of that. And it's not been like a main plot point of like, oh, who is this? Some shadowy figure. Oh no. It's just in the background there. So I'm okay just sitting back and being like, this is a sitcom. Let me just have some fun.
I think it could very effectively pull off that long, slow burn of things happening in the background that you didn't put together. But if it doesn't, I think it's got so much going on that you would be okay. Like, oh, it is just a sitcom. All right, I accept. No hard feelings. That was good.
I'm A-okay with it kind of being a case/cameo of the week show, just to do some bizarre legal case that gets wrapped up in 30 to 40 minutes. I'm A-okay with that. Just make it the like Law and Order CSI style show, but just wackier. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I don't need some big, here's the big bad of the whole thing.
Yeah. And I think the new characters they've been introducing have been so charming that we don't need that cameo high every week. We all loved Madisynn.
Yes,
we didn't know who she was before this. The show could keep doing that. I'd be delighted if there was just a very pug-heavy episode. I don't need to meet anybody for the first time. I don't need any shocking cameos or surprises. Just more pug time. That's plenty.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any other, like, now that I feel like we have a better sense of the show, has your like hopes for what will be appearing in the show, has that changed at all? Are you still looking for them to do a certain thing?
Not really. I do really like the law aspect of it. And I take more, but I don't feel like what we have so far is insufficient. Like I said, I like her grilling Wong about, did you make him sign an NDA or a non-compete? Like, what was the paperwork when you brought him on as a student? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Just knowing that that's on the show's mind is enough. But yeah, I would love to dig in farther. Get us really into, I don't know if they're going to be touching on the snap very much in this series, but like, Yeah, like I faked my death once to get out of Hydra, and now I want to come back to life again. Please, how do I do it?
I'm flashing back to when you and I watched the Leftovers on the Whatnauts
Yes!
review show, one of our other
Yes!
podcasts, and there was a person in there who was cast as themselves in the show, and it is a similar I would love to see something like that where like someone gets caught of like the snap happened and this guy used it as an opportunity to like go start a new life in another country and like gets found out somehow, right?
And you know who that was? The guy in the Leftovers who had let everyone believe he was dead.
I don't remember who it is.
Baker. Mark Lynn Baker, Jin's dad. He's right here. Do it.
There you go. Yeah, you can do that. That'd be really interesting. Yeah. But I still want to see them at least establish the archives of the like, okay, we need all of these comics for us to dig into. Like, what is the legal precedent for some of these cases? I still would like to see them get into that somehow. But so far, I'm enjoying it. Yeah. I'm having a blast. It's funny.
You know what we do still have to get to is that room of comic books that we walk past in the GLK&H offices.
What I'm talking about.
I'm excited for that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what I gotta shout out one of my favorite jokes in this episode. I forget. I think it's when she's on the date with the guy who like keeps looking at his phone and then he won't buy dinner. When he asks her like what she does, and she's like, "Oh, I just started a new job at GLK&H, this law firm downtown. I don't know if you've heard of it." And he's like, "Yeah, I know where downtown is."
Yeah. Just not listening, not paying attention. Absolutely. Like the thing is, we've all had experiences like that. Is the thing. Even if it's not a proper date, there are times when like, you've been hanging out with someone or you're talking to a parent or something, and they're just not paying attention, and they say some dumb thing like that. Yeah. Just like, oh, this is not working. But yeah, this is good. I do want to know if Madisynn will be returning. She did end up making some deal for her. She sold her soul to some demon. I know New Rockstars is back on the Mephisto train. I'm not convinced yet, but it is one of those things of like, well, yeah, I mean, like this could come back to be a very real thing. Who knows? So yeah, I would like to see some of these returning characters somehow, some way.
What if she's back in Midnight Suns? She's the only comedic part of Midnight Suns.
That's the thing. Maybe if this is Mephisto or some demonic presence, right? Maybe he needed some kind of human to make a deal with, to have a human avatar on Earth there, and so she can now can summon Satan inside her whenever she wants. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's activated by gin and tonic and yak milk and stuff like that, right? Oh, well. I think that's about it for our reactions to episode 4 of She-Hulk. Of course, we will be back next week for episode 5. But Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities.
There you go. And you guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter. And if you guys would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, which we got plenty more stuff coming up down the road, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. So please go like, share, and subscribe. That would help us out a ton. I know all the new like Disney Plus, Star Wars, Andor stuff soon. So we will see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.